Perfect. Good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Just let me know you can hear me in the chat box, all okay. And also let us know where you're joining us today as well. I'm in Hampshire. The sun is shining. Hope it's lovely where you guys are.
Morning.
Morning. I can't actually see your lovely faces right now, but I can hear you all. So, uh, good morning. Good morning. And while we're waiting, if you do see the QR code on the screen, if you could just take a second just to confirm your attendance, and we'll ensure that you get entered into our Vietnam prize draw as well for joining today, which I'll share more details about shortly. The lovely Michelle is behind the scenes. Michelle, good morning. Can everyone hear us all okay?
Good morning.
Yeah,
If anybody can't scan the QR code, I put the link on the chat as well, chat box.
Brilliant. And where have we got people joining from today, Michelle? Any comments yet?
Um, we've got so many comments. Nikki from Telford, Shropshire, Nicola, Julie from Western Supermar, Somerset, John from Newcastle, Lucy
Oh,
from
across the
Hampshire,
UK. Fabulous. Fab.
Sarah from Brighton.
Brilliant. Well, good morning for those who just joined us. I'm really pleased you could be with us today. We're going to start in a moment. So wait for a few more people to join us. While you're waiting, if you can, just scan that QR code to confirm that you have attended. And then you'll also get a entry into our fan trip to Vietnam prize draw as well. Michelle, give me the thumbs up when we are ready to go. Just wait for a few more to join.
Yeah, we've got 50 in
Oh, wow, fabulous.
the room.
Good morning, all. Fab. Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll kick off. Good morning to you all. A big thank you for joining us today. I have just got back from Sri Lanka, which you may or may not have seen all over my socials. And I am so excited to be giving you guys a whistle stop tour into the key insights into what we've done, what we did out there today. So I'm really lucky to have been on this trip. And hopefully you leave this webinar feeling, enhancement of knowledge of, the destination Sri Lanka, hopefully inspired as well. That's kind of my main thing today. I want to give you some inspiration and I want to give you plenty of reasons why Sri Lanka should be a destination that you're talking to your customers about. And if it's not, it might already be on your bucket list. And if it's not, it will be after this, I'm sure. And then we'll also have some time at the end for a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat box and we'll answer as we go with Michelle behind the scenes. And if there's anything specific, I can answer at the end. So, so good morning to those that just joined. Let's kick off, I think, with a really quick introduction into Not in the Guidebooks and a little reminder to you. Everything that we do at Not in the Guidebooks is underpinned by our three core values, which are authentic experiences, unique stays, and private journeys. And this is what truly sets us apart. So authentic experiences is all about our trips going deeper, connecting with the connecting with the locals, and unlocking those hidden gems that each destination has to offer. Unique Stays is all about us handpicking properties so that the accommodation and where your customers are staying really does become part of their adventure. And these are always character for premium accommodations to enrich the journey. And private journeys. This is all about designing the itineraries around your customer. So that's where there's flexibility in dates, the transfers, private transfers, that being the freedom to explore at their own pace, at their own budget. Everything can be customized with us as well. So the itineraries that we share are always just a starting point. It can be booked as it is, it can be adjusted and tweaked, or it can be tailored completely to suit your customer's requirements as well. And having just come back from Sri Lanka, I think this time last week, which is crazy, I can really say that Not in the Guidebooks trip really does embody this. These aren't just words; it really is true to how we travel. So that's about Not in the Guidebooks in a nutshell. But let's kick off with my journey. So I won't bore you. It's not going to be hopefully not a death by PowerPoint. I just wanted to show you some really key snapshots to hopefully inspire you. So this was the journey that we did. Ignore this animation. It's got lots of planes, but everywhere was driven, so we weren't flying. But I was lucky enough to, like I say, see most of Sri Lanka as this demonstrates in about 11, 12 days. And we saw about 13 different parts of Sri Lanka, which I'm going to dive into here. So you can see we covered pretty much the whole of the island. Um, so it was an incredible experience as well. There we go to the end there. I want to start off by introducing Hilmi. So Hilmi was our private guide. He was also our driver throughout the whole trip. And this is something that every customer will get with a Not in the Guidebooks trip. So I'm going to just let you hear from him quickly.
Hello, I'm Hilmi. I'm Hilmi Qasim. I'm the guide for this tour. I think I got seven guests with me, so I'm very happy with them. They are very polite and they are very knowledgeable and they are very good people. They are taking care of me. I should take care of them, but they are taking care of me, and really I enjoy with them. It's a nice tour, and I cannot forget on this tour because it just keep in my mind, always remind them. Thank you very much.
I mean, he was very complimentary about us, but you can see here, these are comments directly from the agents who joined us a couple of weeks ago in Sri Lanka. And Hilmi really was worth his weight in gold. So, like I said, your customers on and not in the guidebook trips will have a guide. If it's not Hilmi, a colleague of his, just like him in Sri Lanka, who will be with you throughout the trip. And like you say, he's been there for over 16 years. He had incredible knowledge. And I even learned from him that in order to qualify, there's rigorous sort of assessments and testing that they have to go through to actually qualify to be a guide. So he again was worth his weight in gold. So just to set the scene, he was our guide throughout the whole trip. And then we arrived in Sri Lanka. So again, we had agents from across the country. So there's London and Manchester flights, with more direct flights coming to make travel a lot easier as well. I flew with Turkish Airlines, stopped off at Istanbul, really seamless. And yeah, so these are the agents who joined us. We started in Negambo. So this is often called Little Rome, and you really feel that. And the reason that is because the town is got a heavy Catholic influence. So there's lots of churches, lots of tiny little shrines around the corner, but it's also a really big fishing village as well. So there's a fishing market which is completely buzzing, which is there, and we had the opportunity once we'd all arrived, checked in, and got refreshed, to head out on a sunset boat ride across the Negambo Lagoon, where we saw this gorgeous sunset that you can see in the top left. And again, we had a lovely local gentleman here who took us on this boat journey. I was explaining, the different plants and the trees that we were seeing. And it was a really lovely introduction into the immersive side of Sri Lanka. And where we stayed, you can see the images here. It was a very small boutique villa called Villa Hundera. And it was like you were in the jungle. I'm sure you can see here, the top picture there, that there's a little lake through the hotel. The villas were stunning. There was a lovely pool. So it was really like you were in the jungle. So that was a really lovely start and introduction to Sri Lanka. And then we went on to our first excursion. And this was where you really start to see what Not in the Guidebook is all about. So it's really about these authentic experiences. So we started in our morning in Chilau and we visited a local coconut plantation. And this was a really brilliant insight into rural life. We watched something called toddy tapping, which is a traditional practice where skilled tappers climb coconut trees and collect the sap from the coconut. There is no harness, there's no equipment. I'm going to play this video so you can hopefully see it. It's just him. It's just him, literally his feet on a tightrope, which we know was mind-boggling to us. But we got to see how coconut treacle is made from this. So the sweet toddy is collected. It is then boiled slowly for about 5 to 6 hours, as you can see here. Takes about 5 to 6 hours, and it creates this lovely golden syrup. And it takes around 9 litres of toddy to make 1 litre of treacle, which is why it's really, really special and valuable there. And it's commonly had with curd, which we had as often as puddings. But you can see the whole team here on the top there. They were really proud to show us this plantation. And then, it's one of those experiences that you could miss as a tourist, but we can actually see working with the locals. This is a really important part of Sri Lankan culture. And then we actually had lunch that was cooked by locals as well, as you can see here. So a really interesting way to see something really important to their community. We then went on to do a glamping experience in Wilpatu. So we drove to Wilpatu National Park, and the adventure definitely went up a notch here. And we were glamping in the jungle. I'll be honest, it's probably the day that I was forced to make friends with geckos that decided to sneak into my tent. I had no control over that. But again, you can see here from this video, it was, really, really comfortable. It was glamping. There was bed. We had a sink. We had toilets. We had a shower. There's little lanterns to carry around. You get your own torch. And in the evening, we gathered around a bonfire, had a barbecue. And you can see from this photo here that the night sky was so clear, we could actually see Venus and Jupiter in the sky as well. So a really wholesome kind of entrance into the jungle life of Sri Lanka, talking about the different landscape it has to offer. That was a wonderful experience that we had as well. From there, we did Wilpatu National Park. So we had a guide called Tej who drove us through the forest and the lake in his Jeep. It's one of the very few places that you can actually see all of the big five on one park. Although we didn't see the big five, we saw lots. We saw lots of bird life. We saw buffaloes. We saw jackals. Lots of very cheeky monkeys. I think you'll see some on this photo here. And then what was quite interesting and quite funny, actually, and a hilarious moment is one of our Jeeps actually broke down. So you can never predict these things. But within minutes, you'll see on this photo here that every single local driver stopped to support and help. It made us laugh. It's quickly fixed, but it was a really good example of that Sri Lankan kindness and everybody wanted to get involved and support and help. So that was a lovely experience as well. After safari, we travelled to one of probably my favourite hotels of the whole trip, which was Uga Jungle Beach, which was in Trinco. So this was a really gorgeous, it was a secluded beachfront property, very different, again, having been camping and in the tents, glamping, to now going to a beachfront property. And you can see from this video here, exactly what the property was like. But this was right beside a place called Pigeon Island, which is great for guests if they want to go snorkeling or diving. You can see here the complete difference in different accommodation we've got to offer here. We had drinks on the beach, we had a lovely group dinner, and I think it's important to note that this particular hotel fits beautifully with our B Corp values as well. It's all about sustainable practices. Everything was done with the environment in mind, and definitely one of the top hotels from the entire trip as well. Then we went on to do a farm to table experience, an absolute highlight of the whole sort of 2 weeks we were there. And again, this really encapsulates the heart of what Not in the Guidebooks is all about, and an experience you wouldn't get on a standard itinerary. So we got picked up on these tuk-tuks. We got to explore some local farms. We saw paddy fields. We saw tea plantations, and then we met with this local Sri Lankan family who were preparing a traditional Sri Lankan meal for us. And look at their techniques. I mean, can you do that? But they couldn't have been more welcoming. It was an absolute trip highlight. We got involved. We helped prepare the lunch. We cook the lunch. We learned about their spices. We learned about their vegetables. A lot of the guys at first are eating things like jackfruit or coconut sambar. So it was really, really great to do that with the locals, hear from them. And they even showed us that's their paddy field here on the left, where they actually grow their own rice. So it was great for them to talk to us about the whole process, and eating it afterwards as well. You just get a whole new level of appreciation for the food as well, especially once the guys had cooked it as well. From there, we went on to Dambulla Cave Temple. So this is a UNESCO heritage site. So it's filled with Buddhist murals and statues. It's really, it's a religious place to visit, a temple. Really giving that sort of sense of that the religious side to Sri Lanka. It was super peaceful. We had to do a bit of a steep climb to get up there with some stunning views from the top. But it was something I've never seen before. It's extraordinary seeing the size of these statues, all carved in this rock. It was absolutely insane. Then that evening, we checked into another special property. So talking about unique accommodation, we checked into a place called Amber Yalu. So this really stood out to me because it's an all-female run hotel. So I'll pop a little video here, but it's nestled in a mango plantation. And it's got views of the Kadamala Lake and the Sleeping Soldier Mountain, which we'll see in a moment. But the name Amber Yalu actually means mango friends, which is very fitting with it being on a mango plantation. But what I love the most about this property is their ethos, and that is championing inclusivity for women in the industry. So they train local women in the community on a 3-month program, and then they bring them into their team, which is really, really empowering. And you can tell from the service we experienced there, it was a really special property with stunning views as well. So that's all about the unique accommodation we offer. And then we climbed Sigria Rock. So this was an epic experience, and I don't know if the photos even do it justice. But the beauty of this day I wanted to highlight is the perfect example of why traveling on a private tour that we offer is such a game changer. And the reason that is because we actually flipped our itinerary because it had rained the night before, which we were due to do the climb. Hilmi, actually, our guide, actually recommended that we actually do it the following morning at the sunrise when it will be dry, it'll be better views for us. And that was probably one of the best decisions we made on the trip. And that's just something that you can't do on a big group tour. You can't have that flexibility. Your ticket's already booked, you have to go. Whereas we actually managed to flip the itinerary, and that early start was absolutely worth it. I think there's a video here. The climb itself was super manageable. There's steps, there's railings, there's rope to hold on to. It's kind of split into 3 main sections. So there's viewing platforms on there. So you can either catch your breath or use it to take some photos. It took us around sort of 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes. And that included photo stops. But people of all ages were doing it. There was kids doing it. There's older travelers doing it. It's achievable. It's definitely worth it. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that was probably one of the best, or is the best sunrise I've ever seen in my life. And I love seeing sunrises. So definitely worth to do. And again, having a guide throughout the whole trip, telling us where to go, what time to go, areas we should be, where to stop, where to take photos, explaining sort of the different elements when you get to the top and what it used, the story behind Sigria itself. So again, an amazing, incredible experience. Then we headed to an area called Gamadua. So Gamadua is a really remote, tiny little village that not many people would go to, but we stayed there in a property called the Gamadua Heritage Tea Bungalow, and it's beautiful because it's an old colonial planter residence which has now been converted into basically a bungalow which overlooks Knuckle Mountain. The views were spectacular, as you can hopefully see from here. The property sits on 7 acres of tea estate, so there's tons of walking trails, there's bird life to see, there's mountain bike routes, there's lots of hiking trails. So it's really, a piece of an active piece you can add to the adventure for anyone who wants to be off the beaten track a little bit. We did do a small hike that afternoon. Don't ask any of the ladies who went about leeches. We had a little bit of a leech incident. Everyone was safe and it was fine. But those things that stick with you. And we woke up to these most incredible views. Absolutely was worth it. And again, seeing how, being somewhere so remote, we got to talk to the local workers that were there, that work on the tea plantation, that really enjoy what they're doing. There's lots of charity work that they do at this property as well. But it is important to note that if you're planning on going or have customers going, right now there are some repair works happening in this tiny little valley, purely because of the cyclone that happened last November. Some of the main roads were damaged a bit. So although the property was unaffected, getting up to it can be a little bit tricky at this time. So they are working on it with the local government right now. But from this photo as well, you can also see one of our unexpected highlights is the house dog, the little blonde one there the dog was called Mouse. So who joined us on all of our walks, and we pretty much adopted us for the evening. But he was very cute and very much star of the show at Gamadua as well. Then we moved on to Kandy, so completely different landscapes. When I say Sri Lanka offers something for everybody, I truly mean it. You've gone from complete hilltop peacefulness, and we're in Kandy now. So obviously it's one of Sri Lanka's cultural capitals. It's known for its rich history, its vibrancy, the markets. We actually stayed at a little hotel called Queen's Hotel, right in the centre, perfect base for exploring. It was fabulous because this day we were able to walk everywhere. It made it super easy, super relaxed. And we met our guide, Sudesh, who took us on a food tour of Kandy, which was brilliant. So he showed us where locals go to eat. Like we're talking little tiny cafes, street food stores. He took us to a local fruit and vegetable market that you can see here. And it's authentic because this is where the locals were going and grabbing their lunch. And honestly, it was some of the best food I had on my whole trip was the street food here at Kandy. And again, nothing was too much trouble. He was explaining what everything was to us. History, the origin behind the foods, and yeah, it was absolutely delicious. So a street food tour is definitely worth it, and again, a great place to see where the locals are actually eating as well. The day then took a completely unexpected turn, but in a complete best way. So we suddenly found ourselves in the middle of in the middle of the Walk for Peace. So this was where we did a bit quick research. We were wondering, why is there crowds of people, adorned in white clothes, holding flowers? There's bunting, there's flags, and we realised that actually it was this. And what you've seen there is, yeah, so like I say, the walk for peace, where 12 monks were walking across Sri Lanka. We happened to cross paths. It just felt like the most magical, peaceful, spiritual moment. The fact that we were there at the same time. When I tell you, the streets were lined for miles. People had come for miles to watch this, and we just happened to be in the middle of it. It was super, probably one of my memories of the whole trip. Super spiritual, and really, really special. And then we ended that day on a kind of a more spiritual note with a visit to the Temple of the Tooth, which is one of the most sacred Buddhist sites in the world, and where we saw the traditional drumming happening. We got to be part and see the evening ceremony, and Hilmi, our guide, explained everything as we moved through. But it was super atmospheric, and it was just a very moving spiritual day. I'll just play a little snippet from that here. But you're there with the locals and you can see how meaningful it is to them. So it felt really special. We felt really privileged to be part of that and to share that with them. So yeah, a really unexpected but special moment there. And then again, another landscape. We then go to Galoya. So this is where, again, a bit remote. Not many people go here in Sri Lanka, but it's another beautiful national park, and it's home to Sri Lanka's indigenous community as well. So we actually stayed in Galoya Lodge. I'll play a little video here. It was a beautiful eco lodge nestled in a part of protected jungle, and you feel completely away from the world here. And it also helps the fact that there was limited phone signal, so you can really get immersed in nature here. But the accommodation itself was spectacular, and I've got plenty of more videos and pictures on our Facebook group. But we did a jungle drive, so we had two jeeps, as you can see in the photo here. And when I tell you we were the only two Jeeps in the entire park that day, it felt like an incredibly premium, slow-paced, intimate jungle drive. In comparison to what we did with Wilpatu, there were two different safaris that we experienced, which is great to see. This one definitely felt a lot more premium and slow-paced. Lunch was prepared on site. You can see here they lovingly prepared these gorgeous lunch for us that we had with a view of these elephants. I don't think it could get more pinch me than that, really. On this, we also saw monkeys, we saw elephants, we saw lots of bird life, lots of eagles, owls, we saw tortoises, deers, jackals, all of their natural habitats. So that was really special. And the following morning, we continued in Galoya, but this time seeing the same landscape but from the water. So we did the boat safari, and it's the largest lake in Sri Lanka that we were on here. And everybody wants to talk about elephants swimming in the lake, which we didn't actually get to see the full herd, but we did get to see one elephant, which felt incredibly special, as you can see just here. So that was really, really special. And again, this gorgeous lunch. I mean, look at breakfast, sorry, that was prepared for us. I don't know, I hadn't had lunch without that much of a serene view. It was peaceful, it's private, it was stunning, the sun was shining on us. And then we were greeted by these little cute puppies on our way out as well. So a gorgeous day that was for us. Before we headed then to Nura Elia, so we're heading toward the end of the trip, the bottom south part of the trip now. This is often known as Little England, this area, purely because of its colonial, nostalgic feel. But again, a huge contrast. We were just in a jungle a moment ago, and now we're here. But this was the afternoon that we spent with the tea planter. This was our guide called Cylinder. Again, super knowledgeable, super passionate. He's been doing this for over 30 years. He is a true gentleman, and he's really proud to show us the story of tea, why it's so important to Sri Lanka, how it's helped shape the community in the country, how it's grown, how it's picked, how it's processed, and how it's auctioned every Wednesday to big companies like PG Tips. So just a little moment from him. And it's still a traditional job that predominantly only women do in Sri Lanka as well. So we got to see this lovely little lady here doing the tea picking, and obviously we got to try some. Most importantly, with no milk and no sugar, because that is the wrong way to do it. So we got to embrace the proper Sri Lankan way of drinking tea, and of course we also brought some home with us as well to bring those tastes with us. And then coming towards the end of the trip, the one of again another I can't say another highlight. They're all highlights, but it was the iconic experience of the journey to Ella via the train. So we went from Nura Elia and then we got to Ella via train, and it was spectacular. So this is a famous route. You're going through the most beautiful scenery here through the country. The staff on board are absolutely fabulous because everyone's there trying to get that one, shot of them hanging out of the door. So they take your phone, they know exactly what they're doing and how to capture those vibes, those photos, those views. But it was such a special way to travel. But these views were honestly spectacular. And again, we'd been in the car, traveling. So to go via train and see another mode of transport, it was a great way to see Sri Lanka from another angle, essentially. So that was super special. That we all enjoyed that. And then the last stop of the trip was Gal. So we headed south, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's in a fort. So it's really amazing. It's a charming coastal town. You could get lost here for days. You could end up on the beach here. There's shopping to do. There's beautiful cobbled streets. It's got that Dutch colonial feel to it. There's boutique shops. There's little cafes. There's art galleries, and you're all doing this overlooking the Indian Ocean. So amazing. It truly was amazing. And you can spend a lot of time here. But our guide Hilmi took us to a credible local jeweler because Gull is known for being sort of the gem heritage spot and where they mine sapphire, Sri Lankan sapphire that is. So we met this gentleman here, and he talked us through the sort of the craftsmanship that goes into every piece of jewelry that's on offer, the history, how it's mined, and the processes. He took us through the workshop. Here we go. And again, something really lovely here, and a moment for me personally is I have a ring that's been passed down to me that was missing a stone, a stone, and I showed it to them, and it was missing a sapphire. So he actually put one in there for me. Again, the complete Sri Lankan hospitality. They fixed it for me. It was a really lovely touch, something that I'll remember forever. And yeah, getting to see them actually do the work, it was beautiful. And of course, there was some time for us to shop a little bit, when there's gems and we're shopping. And then finally, just when we thought all of the surprises were over, Sri Lanka gave us one pure moment of serendipity, and that was the word of the trip throughout the group. We kept on saying, but on our way back through security at Heathrow, who did we bump into? It were the monks from the Peace Walk, but this time there was no crowds. It was just them and their famous dog here as well that did all of the walk, all these miles with them. And it just felt like a really full circle moment I wanted to share because, yeah, true serendipity that was. And then my final thoughts overall on Sri Lanka is that it is a destination that really offers something different for everybody. And hopefully you've seen that in this whistle stop tour. From the wildlife to the culture to the food to the history to the coast, the mountains, the beach. There really is something there for every single traveller without sounding so generic. I hope you've seen that come through. The people are genuinely some of the happiest, kindest, most helpful people I have ever met. And I'd like to say that I feel very well traveled. I think these are some of the most kindest travelers I've ever met. They really value the tourism. They really take hospitality very seriously there as well. Nothing is too much trouble. If you have any questions, people are happy to ask. English is really well spoken out there. It's their third language. It's Sinhalese, Hindi, and then and then English. So yeah, we felt very incredibly safe throughout the trip as well. Every guide, every local, every family we met, they really had told us a story, told us a piece of history that no brochure, no website, no blog ever could. To really hear it from them directly. And then traveling, this being I want to say maybe my third month of Not in the Guidebooks, and doing my first trip with them, it really stood out that the value of traveling like that we offer these private tours. They give you that flexibility. You really get that authentic experience. You're mixing with the local people on these destinations. You're going off the beaten track. You're having conversations with these incredible guides. They're telling you things, making it personal, making it memorable, and most importantly, making it meaningful. They don't want to just tell you just a story for the sake of it. They're telling you because there's genuineness about it for them as well. So it's not just words, it's actually what's being delivered. And finally, the accommodation. I hope you've seen that no matter what your customers preferences are, there's something to be offered for everybody, from whether it's eco lodges, whether it's being remote, whether it's women run hotels, whether it's bungalows or beachfront hotels. There's something for every type of traveller. And again, there's something to cater to every single budget as well. So do bear that in mind when you're having these conversations with our teams. And I think just my final thing to say is that my final takeaway is that it's not just a place to visit Sri Lanka, it's something to absolutely feel and experience. And with the right guidance from our team and with the right experiences put in place, depending on what it is that your customers want, we can absolutely put that together to create an itinerary that would just exceed the expectations. And talking of itineraries, here is a package top offer we've got currently promoting right now. And again, it's just a starting point. You pick the phone up to our teams if there's something that you want to add, something to remove. Do you want to tweak the price? Try if there's a budget you're working towards. Just give our team a call, and we can absolutely tailor it to the needs of your customers as well. So we've got a similar trip to what I've done here for 10 nights. 10 nights on a half-board accommodation. You get all of the train journey, the safari included, lots of landmarks and cultural experiences in here as well. In October, we've got prices from £3,242 per person. That's from Manchester. And again, we can look at different airports as well. So just give the team a call and we can put something together for you. I think I've spoken a lot quite now, but let's just hear for a minute or so from the agents who actually joined us on this trip.
I personally really enjoyed the farm to table experience. It just felt really authentic family, and obviously showing us their farm and then welcoming us into their home, and we got involved in some traditional Sri Lankan dishes. So our guide was called Hilmi, and he was absolutely amazing throughout the whole trip. He made everything just so much more enjoyable, interesting, and his knowledge and passion about Sri Lanka is just incredible.
In fact, that there is something for everybody. So we have experienced the amazing food, wildlife, culture. There's some great walks, great bird life. I never kind of thought about bird life as sort of interesting in the whole kind of wildlife spectrum.
So we stayed in quite a range of different accommodations, from homestay to safaris with tents, to lovely hotels, and they've all been a really nice experience. It's nice to experience homestays. I've not done that before, and to be able to explain that to my clients is going to be a positive for me. I think that Manisha and Not in the Guidebooks have absolutely smashed this out of the park for us. It's exceeded all expectations. I've just really been delighted, surprised, enchanted, mesmerised. The whole thing has been wonderful.
And then just important to also share from them some must pack when traveling to Sri Lanka. Let's hear what they got to say.
I sort of thought that I was over it and forgot to put on bug spray. One day I got bitten to death. So definitely lots of bug spray. You can never have too much bug spray in citronella.
100% a real camera because the nature photography was amazing.
Packing cubes, they're really good. And just being organised in your suitcase, because you do go to 3 or 4 different places. And for me, I found if I was more organised, it would have been easier on our travels.
I cannot believe that I forgot my binoculars because the breadth and the quality of the wildlife that we've seen has been absolutely incredible, from tiny little kingfishers and up to enormous elephants. But it would have just been amazing to have that extra pair of eyes.
And also from me, if you're going or any travelers are going, I would definitely recommend packing light. It's so casual. The fact that you're probably having really busy days, and then coming to have a dinner in the evening. It's not like you have to change and get really glam or dressed up, unless you want to. That is, it's so relaxed, like loose linens. That is exactly the vibe. So that's my top tip. If you aren't already on our Facebook groups or on our WhatsApp groups, please scan to join here. Obviously, we share our updates, our offers, our ready-to-use marketing that you can download and post straight away. And later today, we'll pop that Sri Lanka deal back out there, so you've got that to hand to share with you and inspire your customers, having been on a whistle stop tour with me today. And then, as you can see as well, how to get in touch with our team, the details are at the bottom as well. And then just something exciting to mention. Hopefully you would have seen this already if you're part of our social groups, but we are currently offering a £99 low deposit, limited time only. It's valid across 26 and 27 departures, just as ideally giving your customers a simple, affordable way to lock in that next adventure for them. And trying to boost their confidence in this current climate that we're in. So this is valid only until the end of May. So make the most of it when you're sharing our offers. Pop on that. It is just a £99 deposit at the moment. So make the most of it while you can. And talking about incentives and getting traveling, you can earn a place to Vietnam. So you've got an opportunity to enter our prize draw to win a place in Vietnam. 3 entries for making a booking, 2 entries for completing our survey, which on that QR code's there, and it is also be linked in the chat box. And you get 1 entry for joining our webinar. So for those of you that are joining us today, you will also get an entry automatically as well. So it's running to the end of the month, the end of May. So good luck. Hopefully we get you some more, get some bookings in, complete our survey, and join some webinars for more entries. That is everything. Again, appreciate the whistle stop tour. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them now. If anybody wants to pick up the phone or speak to me directly about anything that we've discussed today, you're also more than welcome to do that. But that is the whistle stop tour. Michelle, what have we got in the comments box? Any questions?
We got Debbie today here, who also have been to Sri Lanka. So she's been very helpful in
fabulous.
answering questions on chat box. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Like I said, it's been a whirlwind. Like I said, I got back last week, so we're just getting back into the swing of things. So I'm happy to answer anything that we've got here.
I'm just going to take myself off mute, Manisha.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Morning.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant. It was lovely to see all those pictures. I think one of the questions that came up that I thought was really important to cover for everybody, I can't remember who asked it now. There was lots of questions that I was trying to answer there, but time of year to visit Sri Lanka, because lots of people say, when's the best time to visit Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka is a year-round destination, so people can visit whenever and see all the things that Manisha saw. The only thing that you'll probably want to consider, and I have put a could someone put themselves on mute?
I've done it.
Great, thank you. I'm just going to pop a in chat a screenshot from a webinar I did last year when I came back from Sri Lanka, and it just tells you the best times of years to visit. And the only thing you really need to consider is which coast you visit, depending on what time of year. So during our summer months, April to September, it's best to avoid the south west coast because that's when it's quite rough. So you're not going to be swimming there. So if you want to do some beach time, which most people do when they're in Sri Lanka, if you're going in our summer months, so April to October, I would say, you want to be going to the East Coast. And that's obviously where you went, Manisha.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful Indian Ocean beaches, just really lovely. If they're going in our winter, so really from November through to March, that's when you're going to be visiting the southwest, the south coast and the west coast for the beach time. Other than that, the cultural triangle in the middle, Sigiriya, doing Nuri Elia, doing the train ride, you can visit those all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone's also commented on here about I just saw somewhere, so it's flying around about kids. Would you say this would be family friendly, older kids? Can you include family connecting rooms? I mean, Debbie, but we could both answer this. I'd absolutely say you took your children there, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got kids. My kids, when we went, were probably, I don't know, 15 and 17. And it was brilliant for them. They loved it. And we did have some rooms where we had interconnecting, or in some places we had two rooms. So there's lots of different, so many different types of accommodations available that, we can cater for that. In terms of younger children, I would say absolutely.
There
I
was
mean,
loads.
yeah.
I think that was really interesting to me to see. Actually, I can't explain how many couples were there with babies on their chests and their little strap, what you call it. But there was there was tons of families. There were children. There was couples there, older and younger. It genuinely had all types of travellers there. It was really interesting to see it. I just seen a comment about somebody saying they managed to get their wife a white sapphire from there. Oh, here it is. I had a white sapphire, white and gold ring made for my wife when we visited. We chose together and they delivered it to us by motorbike. Oh, wow. And again, lovely story to tell from that as well. Looks like you guys have answered lots of questions in here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot was around the weather and what time to visit. Just guys, there's lots of us that have been here at Not in the Guidebook, so we can offer that advice. Remember, as Manisha said, the itineraries that you see on our website are really just a starting point. They're great itineraries that we've put together with the local host, so they're great to book as they are. But if your customers have got particular requirements in terms of what they want to see and do, if they want more chill out time, someone talked about honeymoons. Great for honeymoons, but if they want a bit more relaxing time, we can build that into the itinerary. You don't have to cram all of this in. You can do as much or as little as you want, and we can tailor that.
And I think when we were speaking to our guides out there, they kind of would recommend probably about 3 to 4 places, 5 at a push, depending on how long you're out there for, just so you can stay somewhere for around, 2 to 3 nights at a time, so you can really enjoy it. Whereas we were whistle stop tour at each place just to get a flavour for it. So
yeah,
absolutely.
whereas when I went, Manisha, I did that because obviously I did it as a holiday with my family. So we had 2 nights in Wilpatu. We went over to Trincomalee on the East Coast. We did 3 nights over there because I love to snorkel. So we snorkeled and saw the turtles, dolphins, and then in Sigiriya, we spent 3 nights in Sigiriya because there's so much to see there as well. So yeah, absolutely. You're spending more time in each place.
100%. Well, guys, I think that's I think all the questions have been answered now. If there is any more, we're on hand. So drop us an email, get in touch with us. We're all on Facebook as well. I'm happy to answer anything that you need. This is being recorded, so we'll share that out with you guys. And again, you're going to get an entry into our Vietnam Fam Trip prize draw as well. So a big thank you for joining us today. And Thank you for your lovely comments and feedback. Hopefully that was useful and you're feeling inspired to sell Sri Lanka now. And get in touch if you need anything else. Right, have a good rest of your day, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Manisha.